Hello,
Hi.
DBD universe.
Hi,
We're so
everybody.
happy to have you back here in our living room.
Nice living room you got. It's bigger than mine.
I live here. This is my bedroom. Welcome, everybody. We have a fantastic show for you today. This is one of our monthly community streams, which we've kicked off just a few months ago. With each one, we're getting better, learning more things, adding new stuff. And today we have a whole smorgasbord of devs that you're going to get to meet, which is part of the purpose here, is for you to meet our team and not just hear from us. But a lot to talk about. We've got Grimуар.
We've got a lot of things. There's a little thing happening with the game next week.
Yeah, we've got a PTB coming next week for our next chapter. It'll be on Tuesday. A lot of this show is going to be what you're going to see in that PTB. We've seen some of you have already seen some of our teasers out on social, so you've already got a bit of the vibe to expect this new chapter. We are psyched.
Yeah.
So very first, we're just going to go through some very quick news, and then we're going to get to all that content. So get comfy. As mentioned, PTB's next
Что ж, всем привет. Сегодня у нас, значит, стрим разработчиков, точнее, комьюнити стрим. Вообще думал не запускать сам стрим, вот это все лучше записать было бы, и потом перевести это все и выложить на YouTube. Позднее время, в принципе, неизвестно, кто вообще зайдет на стрим, зайдут ли в такое время. Но, тем не менее, стрим навряд ли будет какой-то длинным, наверное. Около 50 минут, наверное, часика. Ну, посмотрим, что нам покажут разрабы.
Down into your sweatshirt.
Okay, hang on. This is what we do live.
Thanks, y'all.
Production are yelling at me right now, I'm sure.
I'll let Mandy give that update again once her mic's fit. Oh,
how's that?
Good. How are we sounding, everybody?
I haven't got a PC, so I can't see chat.
Oh, it was me? Someone in chat says, no, it was me, not her. Sorry. It's fine now. Great. All right. Why don't we talk about Wraith again?
Okay, so Wraith. We have a legacy add-on, which is Serpent Soot, and there's been a strange interaction with Turn Back the Clock, because the perk, you activate a break, you don't actually kick the...
Попробуем что-то понять с этого перевода.
Instantly uncloaks the Wraith, which is actually kind of a fun add-on. It's technically not a bug, because it's working as designed, but it's just sort of unintended.
Кстати, рассказывают про призрака и, видимо, сочетание с этими аддонами и перком новым. Они считают, что это не баг все же.
I have enjoyed turning back the clock, though. It's very satisfying to do that.
Илочка, приветики. Чего ты там добилась? Стрима, что ли? Блин, сейчас все равно мало кто зайдет в такое время. Одна будешь смотреть, вот до конца будешь сидеть смотреть.
We do, especially 2v8. That's going to be the current iteration, so please make sure you've actually played 2v8.
Обратной связи насчет 2 на 8. Они хотят понять, как часто его желательно запускать. Притом рассматривается вариант на постоянной основе. Ну, вроде как.
Lots and lots of you are doing it, which is great because we're getting tons of data. Sure. Great.
The killer balancing survey that we had, it broke all our numbers on survey numbers.
We broke survey records?
We broke survey records.
Great.
Our previous CSATs, we broke that.
Turns out people have opinions on killer balance.
Yeah, it was close to 200,000 answers.
Какие-то рекорды побили.
Really well done. So we're going to be going through all those, and you can
200 тысяч человек.
Based on those answers. And if I can give
в вопросе участвовали.
An overview of what the answers were at some point, Eric. Let's see if we can do it.
This is like on wrestling on WWE.
Они сейчас будут рассказывать про ответы какие-то. Ну, по итогу. Вопросы. А еще я таки купила Dark Pictures игрунькою. Блин, нифига себе, тебя надолго займет. Прощай, ДБДшка.
Next time, maybe. All right. there was a very important fix. If you've been playing 2v8, you've noticed a couple issues.
Yeah, a few crashes.
So the crashes, and there was also Wesker.
Yeah, the Wesker being able to soft lock.
Было несколько сбоев насчет Вескера.
So those were both addressed yesterday. So if you didn't pop in since then, pop back into 2v8. You're safe. And very quickly,
Они решили проблему с
have noticed, or
Вескером,
maybe not,
и
we
притом
are
без обновления.
underway for the Year of the Horse, which includes an in-game set of quests. And if you haven't noticed our social side of things, we have an additional promo code that will get you more BP and a cool charm. So celebrate the Year of the
Про
Horse.
год лошади ивент рассказывают там.
And go get that.
Про брелок по промокоду.
Our favorite horse. Another small thing, but very, very, very exciting for
Да, нафиг
those of
ДВД.
us who
Ты
love this
посмотрела
game. We are doing
тизер
another collab
карты
with
новой?
Balatro. If you're a Balatro fan,
Если
you
не
recall from
посмотрела
last
информацию,
year,
посмотри
whenever it
то, что
was,
я
yeah,
ссылку
it was last
скинул
year,
на второй
we
канал
got
свой,
DVD card
новостной
sets
по ДБД.
in Balatro.
Там много
And now we've
информации
turned the
прилетело
tables, and we've got a Balatro
по новому
cosmetic
персонажу.
coming for the unknown, and you're going to get it starting tomorrow. You got to go to our social channels, get a promo code to do that. So go check out your social channel of choice. I'm not going to suggest one because they're all
Какой-то промокод еще будет на неведомом.
Yes. And then last bit of news. This is another really fun one, especially
Не
for
совсем
our
понял.
Scottish and Northern UK audience.
Ничего не смотрела,
We're
ну
going
ты
back to
посмотри, там
HorrorCon Scotland.
немного смотреть,
It's going to
но
be on April 11th, and
будешь
we're
иметь
sending
представление.
both Dork and Omnia. So if
Это
you
будет
want to
11
meet
апреля,
them
мы
and say
отправляем
hi,
оба
they will
варианта.
be there, and you can have a great time because
Не
they've
понял,
actually
куда за
upgraded
что
the
за меня
experience they had
отправляют,
last year,
причем
which
здесь
is already
неведомые.
cool. They have a whole DBD experience, like you have to survive, and there's killers and all. It's great. So shout out to the HorrorCon Scotland folks. They're really cool to work with. And that's it for me mumbling about news. Let's get into the content of the show that you're here to see. We're
Какая-то
going to
игра,
start
что ли,
things off
настольная, не пойму.
with the Grimoire. I'm going to
Я
leave.
сегодня весь день на ногах была, и теперь даже
Omnia
окно
is
в
going to join
день.
us with
Но
our
ты представь, я
lovely
сегодня тоже целый
Zaki
день на ногах.
team
Я
people.
там грузы
So
таскал, у меня
here's a
руки не
quick
работают.
transition. We'll be right back.
Так, насчет гримуара. Я реально что-то хочу поднять, допустим, это что-то раза в 3 тяжелее становится. Давайте, говорит, немного подождем, и сейчас вернемся. Будут рассказывать про гримуар. Я хочу посмотреть там, что по новой карте, что по новому персонажу уже. Блин, стрим, к сожалению, запустился еще в 1024, блин. Без разделения на качество. Жалко. Поэтому еще тоже многие не смогут зайти, скорее всего. Брошка? Чё за брошка? Чё за брошка? Я хотел, блин, чтобы они разговаривали
Hello, everyone.
на русском.
Omnia
Не
here.
получается
We're here for the
запустить.
Grimoire segment of this stream. It's going to be
Только
really
в записи
exciting.
могу
We have a lot of
записывать.
news to give all of you. But first, before we get
Переводить.
started, just in case this is your first introduction to the Grimoire, we're going to give you a little bit of a recap of what the Grimoire is. So it's something we kicked off last year.
Будут рассказывать о
It's our
гримуаре.
first community-made chapter. So we give you, our players, the ability to vote on the multiple different aspects of making a chapter, from the broader themes to the finer details, and we're just right now getting into those finer details, which is really fun. And we take all of your votes, and then we work on bringing the vision to life. So that's really exciting. And since January, you've had the ability to further define the characters that we're going to be bringing to the fog by voting on the killer silhouette and material, and the survivor's face and mood board. And we'll continue to refine those, and their lore in the coming months through your votes again, with the next one opening next week. It's going to be very exciting. And on February 27th.
На следующей неделе будет голосование новое
And
по
you'll get to
гримуару.
vote on a number of things. We'll do a little reminder at the end. the killer and the survivor's final concept, their names, the killer weapon, and the chapter's name. So all very exciting.
Убийца, финальной концепции выжившего, его имя,
It's going to be
имя
so
выжившего,
exciting. I cannot wait.
орудие убийства.
But I'm not alone here. I'm joined by Jeff and Jay from the design and the art team to give you a little update on, the progress we're making on the Grimуар side of things. So I'm going to pass it on to you, Jeff, to give us some more details about the prototype.
Yes. So hey everyone, you may or may not know me. If you don't, my name's Jeff. I'm a senior game designer. I've been working on Dead by Daylight for many, many years, and I have the opportunity
Так, будет сейчас рассказывать о
honor
прототипе.
of working on this chapter, which is fantastic. I've been loving seeing the votes and things take shape. It's really been awesome so far. So today I'm going to talk about the prototype. We recently passed Gate 2, which is about expanding and finding the fun. And we've just entered what we would call the refinement/polish phase. So, fine-tuning, finding the balance to make it feel good. And this, of course, goes beyond just the prototype, but this is where we start looking at the numbers and seeing how things feel. The first thing that I will show you is, like I said, the prototype is progressing nicely. We just passed Gate 2. And then we also had a recent blog post that we shared.
Работа над прототипом идет хорошо, и вы найдете полезную информацию по следующим вопросам.
Done a few more things since that post, but it gave you a little, behind-the-scenes view of what's happened. Let's get into it. The first thing I'll talk about is the hopeless exile.
Давайте начнем. Первое, о чем я расскажу, это безнадежный изгнанник. То есть безнадежный изгнанник — это
they must face challenges while they're in there. And initially, the way that it worked is that you would be sent there, and it was like a timer, and you could make it go faster, and eventually you would get out. So here's what it looked like. I apologize if it's a bit choppy. This is a GIF which doesn't seem to be loading right now. Maybe if I press again.
I think it's because you said GIF and not GIF. I think that's the reason why.
Что-то там у них сломалось, они что-то хотели показать.
It's not working. Okay, it's fine. We'll go to the
Нет,
video.
не работает, как обычно.
So, does this work?
I think the opposite exile. Yeah.
Perfect.
Так,
So,
видео
it's
показывает.
it's going to be a
too
little
powerful.
fast, and I'm going to replay it again, but this is what it was basically. So you see there's the depleting
Так,
gauge
субтитры
around
я
the
немножко
star
уберу
portrait.
вниз.
That was your exile timer, and you could collect these crystals to make it go faster, and once it was over, you would go back to the entity's realm. So I'm going to go back, just so that we don't play the next part. And what we found is, obviously, with prototypes, we do playtests. We do a lot of playtesting internally, externally.
Короче, они что-то делали, там в мир сущности попадал выживший, но что-то у них по тестированием что-то не сошлось там.
Mostly that it felt too easy and uninteresting as Survivor. Because initially, like even before this version that I just
Он казался слишком легким и неинтересным, как выживший, потому что изначально, еще до этой версии, я просто показывал... Еще до этой версии, где я показал отсутствие... На ТГшку отключить.
The comments that we got was that something was missing. There was interactivity that was missing, and of course the level that you see here is not at all final. It's not even the layout that we want.
Отсутствовала интерактивность какая-то. Короче, они добились то, что им нужно при тестировании изгнанника.
But yeah, so that's what we did first, and no, it's not clicking. Production, help!
Опять видишь, что там не получается, не могут переключить нормально слайды.
We've got it.
Okay, so anyway, when we were discussing the exile, the one with the depleting timer, we had a bit of an epiphany where
Изгнанник тот, у которого истощаются ресурсы. Что-то за счет таймера участники, выживальщики.
And you don't want them to feel safe in the hopeless exile.
Перевод так фигово идет. Половина пропускает.
So what we did, the epiphany that we had is that it has to be like a hook, right?
Я пытаюсь по видео что-то понять.
But it didn't have the risk of being on a hook. So with the current version, which you're seeing at very high speed, because it's a very long video.
Типа вот проходит он сквозь лучи и хиты получает.
Get your hook, and your hook timer starts draining.
Набивается таймер какой-то.
It actually depletes your hook timer faster, so there's a very high risk to being in there and getting hit. The crystals in this version, we're still exploring what they're going to do, but there is something that I wanted to mention, which is initially the killer could go in there, and we removed it because we felt that it was adding a layer of complexity that was not needed. And of course, complexity and cognitive load is always something that we care about because we don't want things to be difficult to understand or like start learning or just start playing with. However, we got feedback from our playtesters, both internal and external, that they want to go in there as killer. They want to see it. They want to experience it, which is, it makes sense. Yeah. It's the killer's realm. So, all that to say that we will be exploring the killer going back in there, but it is not set in stone because the killer's kit
Что непонятно, но очень интересно. Ну, из того, что это до этого они присылали, там все, в принципе, описано было, но то же самое рассказывать просто более подробно. Можно прочитать то, что они оставляли все эти отчеты о своих тестированиях.
For lack of a better term, we kill things, we take them out, we try them again. It's just like we're
very fitting for the killer,
Yeah. We're constantly iterating.
Мне просто интересно, что по итогу скажут. Ну, они к чему пришли?
We are confident in moving forward, and we know that all the work that we're going to do is going to end up in a really good product for our players.
Наша работа в итоге приведет к созданию качественного продукта для наших игроков. Следующее, что я хочу упомянуть, это артефакт. Так что
and that was the idea that survivors may try to wield your relics, but they face severe punishment. And a lot of discourse that we saw online was that players didn't seem to like the idea that you would get punished for carrying something, and like the immediate link that was made is that
короче, тестировщикам не нравилась идея изгнания, что-то такое.
However, we know, both internally and our players, that that sort of thing can lead to a lot of problems in terms of balancing, because if the stars get punished for carrying something, they're just not going to carry it. And so it becomes irrelevant.
Ну, короче, из того, что он говорит, мне, честно говоря, ничего не понятно. Я, конечно, после стрима почитаю вот этот вот разбор этой темы, там подробнее будет. Это все в телеграм-канал опубликую. Там тема с изгнанием, вот этой божественной силы, это что-то сложновато вообще. Но они, естественно, растягивают. Под конец оставят о карте, там о персонаже, наверное. Я сама выпустила стрим, сама ничего не понимаю. Я говорю, лучше бы, если бы я просто записал и на YouTube выложил уже с этим нормальным переводом. Ну, хотя бы более-менее нормальным переводом. Этот перевод, который идет сейчас, это от браузера идет перевод. А он такой себе. Ну, по крайней мере, на Твиче себя не очень хорошо показывает. А на YouTube я проверял, более-менее показывает. Ну, в принципе, на YouTube там и свой перевод есть. Ну, кстати, можно на YouTube попробовать запустить.
The crystals with the artifact, like imagine it works like a flashlight, or, the EMP from the singularity, you're putting yourself at risk of being hit by those pillars because your movement speed is slower, maybe your visibility is smaller.
Сейчас я секунду попробую.
I think it links pretty nicely to survivors may try to wield your relics but face severe punishment. So, again, we'll have to see.
It's worth mentioning is that, as you explain all the changes that are happening, the thing that is really unique with the Grimуар is that we're taking you, our players, through every step of the way. Yes. And so you get to see the changes that we have to make sometimes in the background for, other releases to make sure that a power, can work well and can be fun and can be, appreciated on both sides. So here it's like there's all these changes happening and you get to see why we're making them too, which is really cool. We get to take you with us through this process.
Yeah, and again, prototyping
Чё
is
зато
all about
голос твой
iterating
послушаю.
quickly and finding
А
what
блин,
works,
ну
what
я не могу
doesn't.
сейчас нормально говорить, потому
One of
что,
my
ну,
previous
шуметь не
leads
могу.
once told me, fail fast,
Буду
follow the fun,
мешать людям
because
спать.
that's what prototyping is all about. If you
Yeah.
identify what doesn't work quickly, you can move on to finding
That's
what
it.
works, right?
You need
So
to try it, essentially.
exactly,
That's it. You need to try it
exactly.
first.
Exactly. And-
Посмотрим
and
YouTube, как
I think
будет
one of the main points that I want to highlight is
работать.
that as a designer, when you work on a feature, you get a lot of feedback, and you have to learn to filter that feedback, because feedback is important, but you have to understand why that feedback
Yeah.
is there. What's the problem that you're trying to solve based on that feedback? And one of the things with this feedback that we got about the exile is that you have to learn to filter that, right? And when feedback is consistent, feedback is important. Kind of hints that
Yeah.
something is not working as it should.
What's
So
the problem
that's where we're making a lot of changes. All right, sorry.
Блин, как тебя отключить-то по-быстрому?
Moving on to the ray of retribution. So that is the active power that you guys voted on, and it's the description that was voted on was you channel a. Grab the clicker. Moving on to the ray of retribution. So that is the active power.
Я попробую этот
And it's the description that was
перевод
voted on was
присоединить.
channel a beam of divine energy to punish the unworthy. Something along those lines. So I'm going to show you, maybe the GIF is going to work. No dice, no dice. Oh, give it time? Okay, production says to give it time. So with the ray of retribution, the first thing that we explored, you saw a doodle of that actually very recently, was the idea that
Yeah.
it was very, stick figure drawing is my strength. So it's the idea that you charge up this beam and there's like a warning phase and then it triggers and it fires and it does its thing. And, I'm going to be very blunt
Кстати,
with
на
this.
YouTube я сейчас даже
It
включить
worked.
не могу
It
почему-то.
did the thing that it was supposed to do.
Субтитры.
However, coming back to the feedback, we got consistent feedback both internally and externally from the user research team, which, by the way, if you don't know, you can go to the behavior website to sign up for the playtest squad. You may test a bunch of different things, not specifically the Grimoire, but if you're interested in helping out, you could do that. So user research team with their playtest squad and the consultants, the feedback was consistent that it
Рано офигенно, на
lacked
самом деле.
depth and skill expression. And obviously, when we design a killer power, we want it to feel engaging. And when there's no depth and no skill expression, it ends up kind of falling
Ну,
flat.
тогда вернем.
And that's not great.
No. Well, you want the fun again.
Yes,
You want
yes,
the fun to
exactly,
be a part of it, like you were
exactly.
mentioning.
Yeah. So production, I'm just going to skip to the video. Oh, we can still see each other. Yeah, yeah. So I'll show you what it looks like now. Okay, you want me to say that? Okay, sorry, production, that wasn't clear. All right, we'll be right back. We're having technical difficulties. BRB, guys.
Oh.
Oh, we can still see each other. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
О,
Okay, you want me to say that? Okay, sorry, production, that wasn't clear. All right, we'll be right back. We're having technical difficulties. BRB, guys.
здравствуй, Алина. Сейчас я быстренько здесь настрою. Теперь это туда слетел переводчик. Сейчас что-нибудь буду говорить, чтобы он появился вновь.
The retribution was too powerful, so we can get back into it.
Что там, не появилось?
Thank you, production, for letting me know. Right, so I'm going to show you the GIF now because it's actually playing. So this is the current version, or the previous version, sorry.
Есть, да,
So
субтитры,
here you
хорошо.
see you're aiming as the killer,
Вот, короче,
and
опять
you
они там
fire,
тестируют,
which
показывают.
has
Все-таки
these
не
dimensions,
хотят
the
пока на
warning
карту
phase,
переходить,
and
они
the blue
все
part, which
про
is
Гримуар.
the actual, effect phase. So like I was saying, we got consistent feedback that it lacked depth and skill expression. And
Короче,
this,
чем-то стрелять будет
our
лазером
players,
каким-то,
the
не
people
знаю.
who got to test it, the playtesters, they were very creative in using it. They were using it through gaps. They were using it, over loops, which was cool. But even with all of that, it still didn't meet the criteria or the expectation that they had with a killer power, which, because it was consistent, we had to pivot. We couldn't just keep going in this direction. And at this point, we challenged our own assumptions, which is
Но они рассказывают, опять же, то, что мы уже знаем, то, что они до этого описывали в отчете о вот этом тестировании. Действительно, луч должен исходить от самого убийцы.
Sorry for making this comparison. I apologize, but I have to because it's the easiest way to explain it. Is kind of like an orbital laser, right? You're going to see in the next GIF, this is the current version that we are testing. So you can charge, which has this pillar that forms and starts moving away from you. And as it moves away, you can control it.
Короче, вот такие лучи будут где-то появляться, не знаю, каким-то образом. И этот лазер ты заряжаешь. Таких, не знаю, как назвать, лучи просто, наверное. Он заряжает и потом может пулять. Ну, типа лучом лазера.
Has had very positive comments, and we feel that this is very strong.
Типа кто тестировал, и от них получили позитивные отзывы, положительные отзывы.
What I feel personally is that the skill ceiling for this will be very high, right? Because you have to learn when to charge, how to control it, and there's even an element of prediction. It might be a little bit unclear in the GIF or even in the video that I'm going to show after, but it actually goes through objects right now, right?
Okay.
That may not be the case in the final version, but right now we're testing.
Он проходит сквозь предметы этот лазер.
There's a little bit of a slowdown, right? So you can imagine like it erupts.
Когда он проходит через небольшое замедление.
So anyway, we're exploring all this. We've made really good improvements on the controls because the initial version of this had a bit of a problem where eventually it felt like it was more parallel to the center of your screen as opposed to like trying to reach it. And over here, again, maybe a little bit unclear because the GIF is so fast, but it actually tries to catch up to where you're looking. There's like a little line, kind of a string showing that it's going there. And, personally, I think the programmer working on this did a fantastic job at, nailing the controls. Obviously,
они столкнулись с какой-то проблемой, что-то типа направлением этого лазера. Типа, если пуляешь этот лазер, то непонятно, куда он летит по экрану. Ну, прицела нету, типа.
Very divine,
И они, видимо, добавили какой-то, типа, я не знаю, лазерный прицел, так скажем, что ли. Он какая-то, типа, нить. Чтобы понятно было, куда лазер полетит.
That just wants to strike the sinners with, and punish them. So, one more thing that I'll say is that this version, the pillar, has a lot more levers to play with for balancing, which means that...
Ну, короче, они переделали лазерный луч, я так понимаю, в вот такую колонну, лучевую колонну. Вот ей непонятно, как вот управлять. С задержкой она идет. Вот в этом они столкнулись, видимо, с этой проблемой. Поэтому добавили какую-то нить, которая направляет. Учиться управлять ей надо будет. Какие-то тайминги там рассчитывать надо. Но тем не менее, они до сих пор это еще экспериментируют. Они будут еще там что-то оттачивать с этой фигней. Притом, этот луч по двум этажам будет бить. То есть, если это закрытая карта двухэтажная, то этот луч будет еще, получается, захватывать и второй этаж.
But yeah, so like I said, none of this has been balanced. What you're seeing on screen is really just like, I think the second or third iteration of what we have. It's even progressed since this GIF, because of course the programmer is doing all the different things that I'm asking. I'm sorry, I'm asking for a lot. But yeah, so we'll be fine-tuning it, and of course we're going to continue play testing both internally, externally, and yeah, I mean, I'm very excited for this. I think it's really cool, and there's a lot of potential with this power, and I'm very interested in seeing how it'll go over time. And so finally, before I close off my section of this segment, I've been yapping for a long time, I'm sorry. Our next step is to add the simplest version of the artifact to the Hopeless Exile to validate if it's fun and interesting for the survivors, if it ticks those boxes that we had. So, we're basically going to steal the flashlight.
Короче, какой-то артефакт для выживших будет. Пока не пойму, о чем он имеет в виду, что там имеется в виду вообще.
We have like the inputs that have to feel nice, right? Like how you press the buttons to make it work, but also mechanically speaking, like its speed, its charge time, all those things are things that we have to look into to make it feel great to use as a killer. And the last thing that we really want to look into is refining the Hopeless Exile to have more control over the spawning of the hazards and the crystals, or whatever the collectibles end up being. Because right now they're just spawning randomly, and obviously that's not super great. So we're going to look at like maybe having different tiers of crystals that have more concentrations of hazards around them, so it's more difficult to get them, for example. But yeah, I'm sorry, I'm yapping away. We're going to explore all those things. We got
Another
production
question.
has another question. Yes, from Iron Quacks. As of right now, can you hold the rate indefinitely? As of right now, no.
Они пока не знают, что там насчет изгнания, как это придумать. Мы уже видели там, как надо будет что-то молиться. Непонятно.
After 3 seconds, it goes away. But if you fire it before those 3 seconds are up, it will refresh its lifetime. So it'll go for 3 seconds and then it will disappear again. And you can only have one ray active at a time. But yeah, so I hope you guys are excited. I'm really excited. Like, honestly, out of all the powers that I've worked on, this is probably the coolest. Like, it's super dope. So yeah.
Полная наивность.
All very exciting.
Она дошла,
Not
наверное.
yapping at all. We want to know this. We
А
want to
она,
hear
по-моему,
this.
ДБДшечку играет.
It is so interesting to see the process, and again, this is the first time that we get to do it, to this extent. So I think that's really, really cool. And before we move on, I'll also mention that we'll have more to share on our socials very soon.
Тори решила
I know we
открыть
gave
культ
a
сущности,
progress
владение
update, I think,
сущности.
2 weeks ago now.
Почему
That,
Тори?
you really appreciate it, seeing all the work that goes into it, all the different steps it goes through, from a lot of different, departments and the work that they do on this chapter. So we'll have more coming very, very soon. Just keep an eye on our social channels. So that was great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right.
And before we, yes, you're gonna still, you still have the power of the clicker.
У меня
So we
ничего
still
нового
give
они
you,
так не сказали.
we're going to move
То, что
on to
мы
the art side of things.
прочитали там,
Because
посмотрели
we
тоже вот
have,
эти вот
well, we've had some votes
мини-ролики,
in
или как
January,
их
but we're
назвали,
gonna have
гифки.
another vote coming next week.
В
So it's
принципе,
gonna be
то
very
же самое
exciting. So
сказали.
Jay, I'm going to let you take over and tell us a little bit about that.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you so much. So, well, first I want to say
Почему что? Почему Тори решила открыть культ сущности?
Interesting ideas are brewing on my head into how to justify that. So that will be really great. Little introduction for people who do not know me. I am Jay. I am the art director on the Grimуар chapter. So I've been working with all the team basically to justify all the visual in the votes that were happened. So I'm still ongoing into the team to just to bring more concept and make that evolve essentially. So thank you so much for having me today. So a quick update on the art side is that we are currently working
Первый
on
раз пробую
finalizing
арахисовую пасту, и это просто звездец, верните деньги. Ну, а чё с ней не так? Я, конечно, давно уже не ел арахисовую пасту, но когда-то было дело. Ну, потому что до попадания она в нем состояла, Тори, я не знаю, не помню, честно говоря, за ее лор. У меня сущность одна. Это Нейка. Ты хочешь сказать, что Тори молилась на Нейку?
To find a proper recipe that we want to go for, so that we are able to showcase the divine elements that players are expecting, but also making sure that the horror of DBD from a killer is still respected in there, that we fit within the story we want to build around that killer, and essentially that we fit with the gameplay also that we want to go for. So it's a lot of.
Я знаю, что у Тори у нее на подбородке, да, что-то типа скверны. Ну и там на этом символы на спине. Там.
So we have a little teaser of what will be one of the options to vote for next time. So I think we can look at it right now.
It's so exciting.
Yeah,
it's
we're keeping it mysterious. It's part of it's part of the
Капец размытые картинки.
Like I can recognize the pieces that we voted on.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is very cool.
А какое там
I think
качество мне
one thing
стоит,
worth
интересно.
mentioning too is we posted recently about
Какие
the new
360?
roadmap for the votes.
Давай хотя бы 720.
They voted
А
on
толку-то
killer
размытый
silhouette.
все
They
равно
were asking,
картинка.
we voted on the killer material. How is the final concept going to be different? But I think it's also about realizing that we want them to vote on all of these aspects because we want the final
Короче,
to be as
по
close as
результатам
possible to what they
голосования
want, really
выиграла
personalizing
вот
it.
эта вот сущность,
And
или
here
как ее
maybe you can
назвать.
also tell us a little bit about what it takes
Это
to
текстура
take
мана.
those pieces and put them together into a concept.
Датори культистка, которая поклонялась сущности, те щупальца, когда сурв умирает и так далее. Даже людей вроде убивала.
We
Ну
love
как?
surprises.
Я не особо читал ее. Ну или я один раз, когда она вышла, наверное, прочитал. И все. И потом просто какие-то отсылки еще дочитывал, типа, что каким-то образом он там с Армондом связана местность, ну, где они там в собачнице обитали. А так просто мне не очень ее лор интересен. Ну, вообще персонаж мне не очень
So again,
интересен.
make sure to vote next week on February 27th if you want to your decision to be heard for this killer because it's going to be pretty exciting.
Absolutely. All right. And now, if I jump on the survivor side of things.
Думаю, что попадет за маном, но в итоге попала за сурва. Часто спрашивает сущность, за что она с ней так. Ведь она делала, как ей говорили. Даже так, нифига себе. А еще в ее трейлере она восхищается тем, как сурф висит на крюке и так далее. Ну да, кстати, насчет трейлера я помню. Потому что я в шорс делал одним из первых, по-моему, видос получил и сделал шорт. Ори моя богиня, сама забегает за Лукардо.
So I'm also excited to say that today I've also brought a little teaser.
A lot of surprises.
Yes, yes. I also brought a teaser for our survivor, so we can have a glimpse of one of the voting options we will have for next time. So as you can see, you recognize the face, right? It's still so yeah. We're going to.
Very, very exciting. And this is just a sneak peek. We'll have more to show next week.
Absolutely, yes.
So, еще раскрыли, вот.
I've loved seeing on socials how much players have already, taken everything they've seen.
Наша эта бабушка survival. Бабушка выживальщица. Как она будет выглядеть, в каком костюме, ну, наряде.
Very, very exciting.
Не хотят нормальную картинку показать, да? Я думаю, может, они отправят вот нам, креаторам, картиночки нормальные. А насчет пасты мне просто склеила весь рот. А ты что, его просто так ложкой кушаешь, что ли? Ты его намажешь на хлеб, там, я не знаю.
Exactly.
It's part of the fun for us too, working on the Grimуар and all the different teams who have to adapt to it too. It's really making something completely unique here. So very, very exciting. But I think.
Do we have an extra slide for the next part? Okay.
Yes.
Это невероятно, это захватывающе. Блин, я читаю субтитры только вот эти слова. Ну, это я дорожную карту насчет этого я уже выкладывал. Измененные там перенесли даты немножко. Это старая версия Sable. Да в смысле, все наоборот отсеяли Sable, которая вторая версия должна быть. И все выбрали эту старушку. Блин, я не представляю, как она там приседать на воротах будет. И так намазала это звездец. У меня все знакомые ее хвалили именно эту. Ну, почему хвалили? Потому что сильно сообщество раздуло против второй Sable, так скажем.
I want to know
Как
what people think about this
компанию
also. Go vote. I want the opinion of
призывала
people, so-
бойкотировать,
Go
короче,
vote,
вторую
but
сейбл,
also let us know what you
чтобы
think
все выбрали.
about,
Поэтому у
everything
всех
you've
такое
seen so
мнение
far.
сложилось, что
We
надо
love seeing the fan art. That's
выбрать
been amazing.
старушку.
There's
А
been so much fan art in
я
the
наоборот
socials. We've
считаю,
loved
ну блин,
seeing
как
who you
чё
think
они
these
мучить
characters
будут
are,
бедную
what
старушку в
you've
этом
made of them
ДБД,
so far, of their world, of their lore.
на крюки ее вешать.
So if you have anything, you wanna
Будет
share with us,
бегать там,
please
как
do it in
старушка
our
будет
social
бегать,
chats. We wanna
перепрыгивать
know.
через
Absolutely.
окна палеты,
I
ё-моё.
think that's it. We're gonna
Это же звездец.
Yes.
Expect more, behind the scenes look at things for the prototype. We have some
Ну там
stuff
отрыв
coming right now.
небольшой был, кстати,
So, stay tuned to the
от
socials, I
второго
suppose, but
персонажа. Там 53%
it's been nice to
и,
bring you guys
ну,
on the
может
journey
быть,
with us,
больше,
and I
или
hope that you've
60%,
enjoyed it
не
as
знаю.
much as we have.
It's been
Отрыв.
lovely. We've really enjoyed it. And
Ну, 60 на 40
if
там
you
где-то
want a
примерно
clear look
такая.
at the sneak peeks we've shared today, we'll also be sharing those, so
Так,
you
сейчас,
won't, you
секунду.
won't have missed anything if you didn't see that. And there's a VOD too at the end. But that's it. Thank you so much for joining us for the Grimoire. And next we're going to talk about the features coming in the next update.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Я сегодня пыли надышался, блин, так. Я весь вечер кашляю. Обновление перков, кстати. Написано. Значит, какие-то перки Трикстеру обновят или вообще в общем и целом? Ну, сейчас посмотрим. А, ты про марку? Пасты? Ну, я не знаю, я говорю, я давно не ел вообще. Ну, я, в принципе, сладкое не очень люблю в последнее время особенно. Даже там конфет предлагают, я отказываюсь. Сладкое вообще перестал есть. Ну, если только там булочки какие-то будут. А так утром встаешься, допустим, там есть что-то сладкое намазать. Нафиг. Не катит, лучше что-нибудь такое. Там, сыр плавленый. Блин, пойду я все-таки попью, а то я сейчас немного горло чешется у меня вообще сильно. Она не сладкая, она солоноватая. Блин, солоноватая, а по-моему арахисовая она сладкая. Разве нет? Или это какой-то, ну, типа, вид пасты. Блин, я не заметил, как неделя пролетела. Я сегодня смотрю, а там уже написано четверг. Нифига себе, думаю, завтра что, последний день? И потом выходные?
Welcome back. Shout out to everyone that was in that last segment. That was super fun to watch. Super fun to watch.
Ну,
the
есть
chat.
сахаром, а есть солью. Не, вот
Looking
соль
into
я
this
точно
chat is
не
like
ел.
looking
Я
into
сладкую,
the
да, ел.
abyss. And everyone sees something different. I saw one lone man saying that Jay looked like Oliver
знаю,
Reed, which like two people in the chat
солью.
will even know that name. He's an actor from the 70s in Great
Ну,
Britain.
блин, а если попробовать?
Cinephiles in chat, 75-year-old
Если солёное
cinephiles,
на
shout
сыр
out.
идёт.
I feel old now.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, yeah. But now, I don't even know if we're even halfway. We have so much to talk about today. We've got a lot.
Yes.
So I should shut my
Что
mouth.
за 75-летие
we brought on
городских
two more of
архивов?
our devs. You might remember this fellow who earned the nickname Papi Diego last time he was here. This is Diego, our UX master. And Toma, or Thomas, if you want to go the English route, but Toma, if you're bilingual like me,
Yeah.
is you've done stuff with us before, but it's been a minute.
Yes, I did the Singularity. Yeah, we did the thing for the Singularity where I presented the killer and the perks. I think so.
Yeah.
It was
Это
and
типа
transmission.
создатель
I remember that.
So it's
сингулярности?
been a while, so
Yeah.
welcome back.
Yeah. What else did I do?
It
I
wasn't,
don't remember.
it wasn't supposed to harm there too.
Типа этот чел работал на
I remember that.
сингулярность.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
Соленый арахис
And,
будто база, поэтому я даже не
specialty,
смотрел на
at this point in
сладкие.
time at least, you know, who
Тут
knows
будешь
what you-
знать, может,
know, actually do know
сладкие
some of the other stuff
попробуешь,
you're
может,
doing.
тебе понравятся сладкие больше.
But for this context, it's perks.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
And we've got, honestly, a pretty exciting update to perks.
Yeah, I hope so too. Yeah.
So that's what we brought in,
Обновление
and it has a
перков.
UX component, obviously, so that's why Diego's here. We also have another special surprise from Diego after. But let's talk about perks.
Yeah, absolutely. So, how do I get started on
Походу,
this?
это
Right?
Диего
We
перки
started working
переработал
on this
какие-то.
such a long time ago. Something we've internally called the perk description overhaul, which is
Здесь будет
just a
посложнее,
colossal
надо будет
undertaking, really.
перки
It's like
знать на
all
английском
300
языке,
perks
блин.
descriptions were rewritten, from scratch. A lot of people have worked on this. Like obviously, I'm sitting here presenting this. I'm very grateful for it.
Ну,
and
с
Digger's
нуля
here too, but
какие-то
there were a
перки
lot of people whose
переписывали.
hands and minds worked on this. So yeah, we took it up on ourselves, I suppose, to rewrite all of the perks descriptions. And just to clarify here,
Я больше
this
не хочу
description
пробовать
overhaul does
никогда,
not
это
change the
слишком плохо.
gameplay. So
Не
there
представляю.
may be other changes,
Ну
but
не
this
ешь,
rewriting the descriptions
а то
did not
плохо
change the
действительно
way they
станет
play.
тебе.
So yeah, like I said, we started
Переешь.
working on this a very long time ago because when you
Что за
read the
вкус хотя
descriptions,
бы?
they were really.
Ну, почему
It felt
противный?
like it aged a little bit, right?
And even saying rewriting it is kind of underselling it. Like when you see what we actually did, it's
Может, его
yeah,
нужно просто с
absolutely.
чем-то
It's
есть,
good-
там,
good
я не
updates.
знаю,
Let's dive
ну,
in here.
к чему-то
Yeah,
добавлять просто.
absolutely. So the goal that I always had in mind was to shorten and modernize all perk descriptions. I wanted to do this because obviously DVD is like a 10-year-old game, right? And at this point, when we started writing, we had a different goal in mind, and this has changed over time and with all the content that we added. So when I looked at the perk description and what the people were saying, that they had a hard time understanding, they had to explain it to their friends. So we wanted to reduce the
Какого
length
придурка,
so
какого
that,
ублюдка он
you know,
написывает?
it's just shorter, to the point, right? Using what we say like modern player-facing language, which is what as much as possible what the players are using, and you know also doing it a consistency pass so that all the descriptions kind of look and feel the same, and also try to set up the path, you know, pave the way for the future, if I can say
А что
that.
если?
So here's a look at Old Light. You
Лид.
probably
Что
like
это за
this
перк?
one. It has like a maybe there's like a,
Лид. Пенмин.
they're like memories of, you know, that's the way you look at Lithe. And this is the new Lithe. It's obviously a lot shorter. It's a lot shorter, and it has these like bullet points with the status effects are highlighted. Yeah,
Если я вот так
it's
сделаю,
it's just a lot shorter. And maybe
вот так
at the
сделаю,
bottom you can notice this little thing
закроется
here.
экран?
It's
I
called
do.
extra info. So let's just imagine you have a mouse.
Я
now,
просто
and
хочу
you just, like,
кое-что
hit mouse to
посмотреть,
here.
почитать. Уже
So this is a new
в нормальном
feature,
контексте.
and yeah, why don't
Вроде
Diego,
экран
you wanna say something
показывает,
about
да?
it?
Yeah, thank you. Sure, yeah, this is part of the whole effort we have been doing with Thomas. And what we wanted to do is to also not only make perks easier to understand when reading them, but also provide a way for you to
Во,
learn
сейчас я
what are
почитаю.
we talking about when presenting the perks. And
Внесены
remember them.
существенные
So
изменения
we
в
had the issue
описание
that
перков. Сами
multiple
перки не
effects
были
were
изменены,
described
но
as
их
very
описания были
unusual.
полностью переписаны,
And you kind of
чтобы
needed to
сделать их
know what they
функциональность
were,
более понятной.
as
Это
someone
включает в
or
себя
just
уменьшение
go
размера
find into the
текста
maps and
и
somehow learn what the
обеспечение
subject was.
единообразия описаний.
So
И пример
now we're
показан,
going
вот
to
это то,
allow
что
you
там на
when there is
картинках сейчас было
a-
показано,
starting
блин,
with status effects for
и
now.
ушла, да,
There is a
это?
status effect mentioned in a perk
Почему оно
for you
уходит?
to, with a single click, have a reminder of what
Ну, я
that is all
прочитал,
about.
зато полезно.
Yeah, and this saves a lot of space, as you'll be able to see in a very short moment.
Нормальный перевод
But
там
I
хотя
also
бы.
want to say one of the other things I think it's really important that we added was now
Ну, это,
whenever,
видимо, когда
instead of
закрываешь,
saying
я
active
вкладку
ability
открыл.
button 1 or 2, you know, everybody liked that, right? But instead of saying that, it'll display the
Ну-ка.
key that you've mapped
Я
to it.
ж могу
So
просто на
obviously there's
телефоне
still
открыть, по идее.
only ability button 1 and 2,
И оттуда
but if you
читать.
bind it to E, it's going to say E instead, and if you bind it to F or whichever other key you would like to bind it to,
Правильно?
this is what's going to appear.
Я парюсь.
So this is live now. If you show the extra info, it's going to show these little two status effect reminders. And then
People are
And it's
people
key.
are spamming E in chat. Is
That's amazing. But
Yes.
emphasis that is if you display it. So just for people to know, when you see the tooltip, the extra info is not going to be displayed. You choose to do it, so we're trying not to be invasive or noisy.
Они просто вот текст
Yeah, but this is
подкорректировали, видно, чтобы читабельность была какая-то. И, возможно, описание немножко подправили, где были ошибки. Хотя, блин, на русском языке там по-любому будет все равно какие-то ошибочки. Ну-ка, пилочка, что-нибудь чат чтобы отобразилось именно.
I just want people to know that.
You got me. So this little show and tell, I brought a few examples here so that we could look at. This is Old Dark Devotion. It's pretty long when I look at it.
A little.
Yes, it's a little long.
Все описания более чем 300 перков были переписаны. Это не меняет игровой процесс. Ниже представлены визуальные изображения. Все переписали.
That's fair. This is New Dark Devotion. So it's a lot shorter.
Heck yes.
It uses the bullet points to really convey the information after the trigger
Сравнение
condition,
результатов до
and then
и
it
после
says
применения
you gain
перка
undetectable, and then
ловкость.
if you open the extra info, it shows you
Деньги,
what
видимо.
undetectable
Идея
does.
состоит в том, чтобы уменьшить количество текста и упростить понимание преимуществ. Кнопка дополнительной информации предоставит подсказки об эффектах и о том, какая кнопка клавиш назначена для использования конкретных перков. То есть ты где-то там рядом нажимаешь на какую-то кнопку, он экстра инфо написано было, и у тебя тебе покажутся эффекты этому перку.
That's why undetectable is in this color.
This is the science of UI, UX, and design. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you bring a very good point, because if you look at the next one, background player, there are a lot of colors here. And there is a logic to that color. I don't know if I should get into it for time's sake. But there used to be a lot of colors in a perk's description, and it used to mean a lot of different things. So if you look at the new background player, you'll see only the status effects are highlighted in their proper colors. It's always the same colors. And the other numbers are just bolded here. Personally, I think it reads a lot clearer.
The icons, too, are super helpful.
Yeah. That's true. I forgot about that. We also have the
We have seen it so many times that we just forget.
Yeah, I got more of these. Everyone knows Noed. It's a very nice one. I think it's probably one of our longest. If not dramaturgy, but I guess I'm to blame for that one. So Noed is now, I can't read it, it's too small. It's so short that, it's a lot shorter. Noed, I think, has a very simple gameplay, right? When all generators are completed, the totem ignites, and you gain these effects, and then there's an additional effect. This should take like 3 or 4 lines, and that's what it does. So that was part of the undertaking. And last but not least, Dead Hard. Everyone's favorite
Never heard
perk.
of it.
Yeah, you've never heard of Dead Hard?
I have suffered it. As a killer main, I have suffered this one.
Yeah. So Dead Hard had a very long description, and now it's a lot shorter.
You could say that's dead easy to read.
Well, you could say that? Yeah,
could.
absolutely.
Probably should.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably
Very
should.
simple. Because, Dead Hard, again, is a very simple perk. You meet the condition, you get this prompt, you activate it, you gain these effects, and that's it. It doesn't need to have it didn't need today to have all of these extra text. So these are all of my examples.
Heck yeah. You have one more slide, I think.
Do I?
Yep.
I do. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I forgot that. So, so I guess this wasn't a one-size-fits-all solution. I always say that overall it should be 95% better. We couldn't apply the rule to everything equally. I think most of the perks, we've cut a lot of text, so it's a lot shorter, a lot easier to understand. But some perks may look different, and I think there's going to be some time to adapt to this. And
For sure.
Yeah. Hopefully everyone will enjoy this update and look for more improvements like this in the future. This was a lot of
Что
clerical
по
work.
Гримуару мы видели вот эти размытые изображения. Короче, это каждый из убийц и выживших получит по одному варианту для голосования в качестве финальной концепции. В общем, надо будет выбирать, как будет выглядеть выживший, в чем он будет одет, и как будет убийца выглядеть
We've done our best to improve this,
окончательно.
but the players see this every day. I'm sure they will have feedback, and we will be improving
We'll be
this
there
as
listening.
we go on. Yeah, absolutely.
We're not done. We got questions for you, Thomas.
Yes.
From Grilled Ches 96. Are the character quotes and lore text still going to be included in the perk descriptions?
Yes, absolutely. So So the quotes are still at the bottom. We've seen them. Can I go back with this?
You can.
Yeah, absolutely. I can go back.
There you go.
So if you look at Dead Hard, you'll see in this kind of like beige, this off-white beige, the quote is still there, but that's a very good point. I forgot to mention that the what we used to call the intro flavor text, so there used to be lines of flavor before the perk description, that has been cut.
Но опять
And
же,
this has allowed us to save a
насчет
lot of
Гримуара.
space to bring
Активная
you
способность
the
убийцы
action, bring you
из
the
Гримуара
explanation of
была
what the perk does
обновлена. Ранее
first,
это был луч
and then the
света,
flavor
исходящий из
text
рук.
goes
Теперь это
after,
орбитальный
give you a
луч,
little bit of
который
context and
можно
everything. But we
ненадолго
don't
контролировать, даже
obfuscate
изменяя
or,
его скорость.
disorient
Он
the
сможет
player's reading by
проходить
putting a
сквозь
flavor
объекты
quote
в
at the
сравнении с
starting.
старой и текущей версией,
So
показанной
yeah,
здесь.
absolutely.
На данный момент мощность
And I
можно
wanted to
удерживать
give
только
a
3
quick
секунды,
mention.
после
There
чего
is
она
an
автоматически
amazing,
отключается, и устройство
text
может
extension that
подниматься на
people
несколько
from the community
этажей,
made,
но это может измениться.
that helps you see perks when you're watching people playing the game. We want to, if you're watching, otherwise we'll reach out. Want to let you know we're happy to help update those on your side so your perks and the extension can match what are in the game. So we don't want to leave you hanging.
Кстати,
Yeah, absolutely.
ранее
I
показывали
mention it, but I think,
картинку,
Zero,
где
it's a-
неведомые,
This
там
appears
его
in every instance of where you would see the perk. Right?
голова была.
Exactly.
This tool
Там, не знаю,
In
новый
the
облик головы.
extended one,
Скинч.
and this, the only exception that we're having right
Будет
now is
доступен бесплатно,
Yes,
начиная с
that is
завтрашнего
true.
дня,
we have
20
available
февраля,
different
по
things.
промокоду, короче.
So that's why we
Видимо,
decided
либо на
for
почтовый
now,
ящик пришлют, либо
do our first, take our first step,
опубликуют на
without the
страницах.
channel secrets. But everywhere else, so if you're on the lobby, you're on the match details, you can check that out.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're not done. Diego has brought some goodies as well. So if you want to hand
stick of
over the
power.
clicker.
Oh no.
I'm sorry.
What have you got for us, Diego? Last time you were here, you brought us the scratch marks that people enjoyed.
Yeah. So today I want to talk about auras.
Oh, yeah.
It's an interesting subject because
цвета
we know
аура.
that
Теперь
our
можно
game
настраивать
currently
будет
has a
цвета
lot of
аур.
different colors, a lot of different
То, что,
auras.
собственно, они до этого там
And
обещали.
it has been something that have been added and organically evolved over time. Again, as Thomas said, we're almost 10 years as a game. So we are seeing how things were added for the best for gameplay. Currently, we have decided to start rethinking about the auras to meet the players' better experience. So to better understand the game, to better learn, so all UX related. Plus, seeing how the new art vision for the game could fit the game in the sense like, what are the colors that we really want to present, to show DVD as this multiplayer horror game that we have. So it's the artistic vision and how that goes through UX to also match gameplay needs. So we also know that with the current situation, we have cases where color perception being reduced or different.
Кстати, пользователи Твиттера уже
Even for us,
говорят, что это лучшее то, что можно было обновить
when I'm trying to get at
в игре. Типа насчет аура. Это имеется в виду вот такие карты, как вот это кукурузное поле там. Там с аурами плохо видно генераторы.
Because of the same thing, we are working now with a new system on how do we treat and use auras in DVD. And because of this, you are going to start seeing some differences.
Вплоть до
First of all,
синего
the
цвета можно
colorful
будет
auras are
менять.
going to be the same, regardless if you are a killer or a survivor. You're going to see the same color for the same type of object entity. And thus, we are going to go and say, let's show the survivors in their color, as usually they are in the bluish color. I added there by default. I'll talk about that. So they will appear in blue by default. And there are going to be some changes. So, for instance, we want all killer objects as they are. Most of them
Однако я пока не понял, они будут настраиваемыми или все-таки они просто сами поменяют цвета?
For people that are used with Trikster or Hunter,
как будто бы они сами
the
поменяют
hatchet,
цвета
the
просто.
knives on the lockers in this yellowish color, well, we'll have to get used to the first day to say, oh, it's white now. So that's one thing. And if you happen to want to see the colors as they were, like there in red, the survivor, or you will wish to see aura in different colors, now we're going to see how to play the video. Because I
You
cannot
might need
do
a
that.
click from Mandy over there.
Can you help me with that, Mandy, please?
There it is.
Now you are going to be able to go to the beta tab
Да-да-да.
and try new colors.
Это будет настраиваемо. Можно самому все
outside the map,
настраивать
inside
будет.
the
Это
map,
вообще
doesn't
прекрасно.
matter, for you to change things
Да,
to
это
fit
вообще
better the
здорово.
experience you want to have as a player. No matter if you're a survivor or a killer, you are going to be able to start tweaking some aura colors. We are going to do this with a set of them, so the ones we think are
Блин,
most
стрим уже
important for us
час
to
идет,
start
нифига
testing
себе.
and to live on
Я
your
думал,
hands,
всего
to
будет час
test and
идти.
to empower yourself with, being survivors, killers, hooks, palette, windows.
Can we play it again? I just want to roll it through again.
Yes.
Значит, на
please,
ПТБ можно
Mandy.
будет это
We have another video
протестировать.
coming though. So that was more like it is. So you go there, and you can see, by the way, that the color palette has way more
Oh, yes.
colors than the scratch marks.
Yes.
So they are different. They may evolve from here to PTV and release, but we are trying to provide the colors that, again, match what DVD is, but also what players need for the best experience while playing. And I have here another example. So when carrying a survivor, you can see so many red stuff. So Mandy, if you can play the video, you will see that someone could say, like, you know what, generators, I don't need them to be red. I just can go and say, hey, give me cyan or something like that meant. Again, colors to be maybe revised, but yeah.
Dope as hell. Dope as hell. And I have to commend you, Diego, for essentially trolling the entire chat
Why
in the
not?
way that you rolled this out. For the first half, they're like, oh, okay, but why can't I change my own colors? And then bam,
then
you
boom.
dropped it on them.
Yeah.
You are a bamboozler.
I like to create a narrative, even if it backfires from time to time.
I don't know if it's your intent, but it was an emotional roller coaster.
Nice. So just to close, we are going to keep improving this. You can see there at the right side that we are also adding tooltips for you to preview the color. So you don't need to be opening the settings and closing seeing how it is. It's going to be a preview that it's very close to how you should be seeing the color in the game. We did it for scratch marks, we prepared, so of course it was the moment to do it for auras. So we are going to see both of those things together coming in the next update. We are going to be also adding new auras as we test and refine the system and hear your feedback. It's super important for us to hear your feedback, deliver as constructively possible, and remember that the choices have been made for consistent and clearer rules, meaning that, again, some things are going to change. Hatchets are not going to be yellow by default, but we think this is going to allow us to go forward, to unify the artistic direction of this, and to empower you now with a system that allows you to customize the color of the auras.
And I like that. I think people keep in mind, like you just said, this is not a ship it and we're done, we're going to walk away. There's iterations on this planned, and we do want to hear what people are thinking. So
Exactly.
a great way to approach it. We have another question from chat. Will there be a red stain color change option for survivors?
So the red stain is something that we have in our radar. I cannot confirm nor deny that we're working on it. But what I would say is that we have heard that the red stain is something that would be good for us to visit, to evaluate. I think the reasons we have discussed now are fairly, you will say, as valuable to ask ourselves, things like the red stain or other elements, can we provide some tools for players to customize the experience and perhaps change the color?
Perhaps.
We will see.
It is funny that one I remember asking about, and it's much more complicated tech-wise than I ever would have imagined.
Well, we can always get surprised on like how complicated things can be. And I must say, it has been a very, very big effort too, like as Thomas mentioned for the perk description. This has been giant. So our team, the programmers, artists, UI, all of them has really put their energy and love into this feature. So I hope the players love it too, and remember that we're going to keep improving it.
Heck yeah. Well, I do have to keep us rolling because, again, the show is not over. So thank you so much, guys. This was a great segment, very fun to do with you.
Pleasure, yeah.
We have more updates coming that you'll be able to play next week in our next segment. So we're going to do another quick switcheroo, but please do hang on. We're going to walk through that map on the show, so you don't want to leave. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Вот, Денис, здравствуй. Как дела? Ну, разрабы, короче, говорят, что еще не доработали ауры, они будут улучшать эти варианты по мере поступления отзывов. Они что-то хотят упростить. Нет, не под конец. Скорее всего, к самому интересному. Потому что они еще про карту ничего не рассказывали. Да-да-да, это самый верный этот зритель получается. Да, я не знаю, пилочка была, что-то пропала. Что-то говорит. А, вот, появилась. Да, я думал, у них короткий будет стрим, а уже вон час идет. Они сюда карты никак не дойдут.
Hi, welcome back. So with me today, now what we're going to talk about, Nick? Nick is
Words,
one of our game designers.
things, stuff. Yeah.
Maybe stuff to do with, I don't know, killer?
Yeah, we are
Заглянул
going
к
to talk
Тири,
about killer
Коми,
actions
и у них
update
сидел.
because we're updating the
А у них
language.
что, они не
Oh, I
смотрят
need
же
to
это
control the
вроде?
slides.
Или тоже смотрят?
No. I'm scared, people.
Hello. So yes, no, I'm going to go back for now, and we're going to set it out. But yes, so as Thomas was mentioning earlier in the stream, we had a really great opportunity to update killer actions language in the 9.5. 0.0 update, and we decided to standardize a lot of inconsistencies that we saw across the game for many, many years. So if you've been playing Dead by Daylight for a really long time, you know that we previously did not distinguish between basic and special attacks. And for certain interactions between perks and killer powers, we had to introduce that notion. Well, we are here today, and we are here to tell you that we've also expanded on that terminology. So coming in 9.5, as part of the accompanying the perk descriptions update, you're going to see across powers, killer power add-ons, and perks, the introduction of new killer words. So we're going to start distinguishing between basic killer actions and special killer actions. So as you can see on screen right now, we have going to be doing the distinction between basic and special breaks, basic vaults and special vaults, and when relating to generators, we're going to have the damage generator action and then The new concept we're going to be like codifying is generator explosion. I think that, basic and special breaks and vaults, pretty self-explanatory. Basic is when any killer can just do the standard action. But then when it's a special action, it means that it's a special ability that's unique to them, that's granted to them by their power.
Но это опять же новая терминология к описанию перком просто.
But then the cannibal or hillbilly
Это не изменение перков.
will special break pallets with their chainsaws. Any killer can vault a window, but some killers, like Legion, can both
Я потом это все
fast
скину
vault
туда, либо к Тёме,
windows and drop pallets with their
либо к себе на
power.
канал.
And then
Telegram.
every killer, damages a generator by hitting it, but then only specific killers, like the Knight, can damage them with their power, or on occasion with add-ons like the first, where that add-on where Undergate just makes everything blow up.
Stop you there. What about perks? Because turn back the clock.
Yes, exactly. So turn back the clock, which was introduced in the previous update, it would be considered a generator explosion.
Okay, so it puts that distinction there then.
Yeah, that's it. We really consider like the ability to do something remotely or via distance as a generator explosion. We took that explosion because, well, previously a lot of perks said generator explodes, and we were like, and the imagery was pretty consistent, and we were like, I think most people will understand that when they say that.
Там типа путаница в описании перков. Чтобы не было путаницы, изменили некоторые термины.
Oh, sorry.
Take it off.
Oh, hello.
Yeah. So you're now a TikToker.
Oh my God. So as you can see, game complexity has grown a lot. So as you can see here on screen, we have the Hillbilly's power that now specifies that when you do hit a breakable wall or a drop pallet with his chainsaw, it will special break. We've updated numerous killer powers to specify now that this is the intended behavior that we have. Now moving on to Special Vault, we can see the iridescent button add-on for the Legion, which, famously a very powerful moment in Dead by Daylight. You see Legion, and then you see them in frenzy, and then they vault, and you're like, oh no, I have to move.
Don't want to drop a pallet
again.
And then you're wondering, how does this work with other things in the game?
Что-то у меня битрейт
We'll tell you, because when Legion special vaults, they special break the pallet. Another example, alert for the example on a survivor perk. It was always a bit iffy of like, what triggered alert at the right time? What is supposed to be a break? Well,
and that's confusing for newer players. I know, like, people who've played it for many years, we've got thousands of hours, we kind of know automatically. But the newer players, the players who are just coming in, until you've got hundreds of hours in the game, you won't have got it. And we saw it a lot with Chaos Shuffle when people were having perks that they don't normally use. And they're like, oh my God, I didn't realize that perk did that on this.
В дополнение к терминам специальная атака и базовая атака в игре будет изменено название специальных действий убийц, чтобы избежать путаницы. Например, когда Легион прыгает через окно, будучи в состоянии усиления, это особый прыжок, а не обычный. Следовательно, скорость прыжка не активируется.
Just keep moving on. Generator explosion. Now you can see that Surge specifies that generators will explode, they won't be damaged.
Следовательно, это не активирует скорость перка освобожденный. Когда рыцарь использует защиту, чтобы повредить генератор, это не удар ногой, а специальный взрыв. Будет ясно, когда мы почитаем описание на русском языке.
Generator explosion does not always trigger the regression state of a generator. That's up to how the power or the perk is designed. So when we say if something will start regressing or not, it'll be disclosed specifically.
And does that change the functionality of any of these things?
No. So this is very important as well. Similar to perks, all of the text updates that you will see are text only. We
Ну,
have
короче, на
not
саму
modified
функциональность игры это не
current
влияет никак.
behavior
Просто
from
описание
perks
и
on
терминология.
9.5 PTB. So if you see a difference, if you find a bug or you flag an inconsistency, you can always tell us on the team and we will investigate and get back to you. The great bonus
На
and
ПТБ
the
они
work it
просят, если
causes for us on Dead by
какие-то, не знаю,
Daylight is now that
несоответствия
we have
найдете, типа
consistent
сообщите
language, it
обязательно
just also is easier
на
for us to
форум.
talk together, both developers together, but also between players and developers. Ultimately, what we want is to everyone to understand, like, wait, this effect
Не особо
is
понимают,
supposed to
что
trigger or
как будто
not.
бы это
But then you
переучит
can also,
старых
you know,
игроков
talk
как-то
about it
по-другому
together.
называть
Maybe
ну,
some
вещи,
things
которые им
should trigger
привыкли
off
уже,
basic or special
к
vaults.
тем вещам,
I
которые они
think
уже
that will
привыкли.
just help everyone understand each other better when talking about
Ну, для понимания,
balance
по-моему, это
and
будет
how to design
нормально.
DBD. And lastly, one little example, which kind of started this whole journey on us, is, well, DBD players know what Spirit Fury does, but it was always particularly obtuse to figure out what does it, you know, how do you activate Spirit Fury? And well, now it's pretty clear. I'm sorry. It's, you know, like it's basic breaks only. And also, if you notice, there's an exception at the end of the description of Spirit Fury when it says, the palette is destroyed. That is to specify that nothing is supposed to
Но я думаю, у них не так много тестировщиков. Они до сих пор просят себя на сайте кого-нибудь подключаться. Ну, можно любому персонажу хочется. Любому пользователю, любому игроку можно там заявку подать на тест-тестировщика. Вот. Но я думаю, это самое интересное. Ну, для меня, по крайней мере, это самое интересное в игре. Искать какие-нибудь недочеты и баги. От этого игра интереснее, мне кажется. Ну, главное, чтобы они слишком критичные были, конечно. Чтобы игру особо не портили.
Oh.
So, will the special gen break still count towards the...
Yes. Oh, sorry, I cut you off.
Wow, Nick. He does that a lot.
No, I'm so sorry.
What was the end of the question?
Yes, I'll reformulate really quickly. Will the special generator break still count towards the max limit? The answer is yes. So, damage generators and generator explosions still count to the maximum.
Пример с аддоном, который ломает поддонную палету при прыжке на него. В описании вместо «при прыжке через окно» теперь написано «при выполнении прыжка с помощью способности». Нет, Денис не проверил. Не нашел я человека с синовитом. Ну, не то, что не нашел, потом просто особо времени не было искать. Я другое хотел еще проверить. Но, по-моему, это уже пофиксили. Они же карту, сколько месяцев, если не больше, не было карты этого подземелья, которое из ДНД, который вот этот вот векная, по-моему, карта. Вот там, после того, как они вернули ее, там один баг я увидел. Но там нужно несколько сурвов, чтобы проверить, и ман. Вот я хочу как-нибудь проверить это тоже. Ну, вроде пофиксили.
Making sure that the power and the obfuscation sort of design is now more consistent. Because when we had to update the
это про туман, короче, они балансируют туман. По-моему, вот это вот, да, вот это, по-моему, неплохо.
Was because we realized that it was either very useful in some realms, while also not useless at all in some other realms. So with this update, we're really happy to reintroduce the items and see how survivors experiment. We've fully rebuilt the VFX system. it should be now always consistent.
Но если туман вот такой будет, то, я думаю, маны начнут
Because that
меняться.
was one of the biggest issues, wasn't it? It was so different from map to map.
Yeah. And as you can see on
Сколько
screen as
примерно
well,
метров
I'm gonna switch
видимость?
to the survivor
3 метра
because,
где-то.
Nope.
И видно
That just
сурва.
resets the video.
Но
There
зато
you
не
go.
видно издалека ничего.
As you can see as well from the outside, it is now always perfectly opaque. Well, not perfectly, but it is like now, like it's clear when you're in the fog cloud and when you're
Но
out
сурф,
of the
когда
fog
находится в
cloud.
тумане, он
So,
видит
because
маны, я
before
так
that,
понимаю.
because of the lighting inconsistency, it was
Но
hard to sort of
выходя из
understand the
тумана, он не
boundaries
видит.
of the fog cloud. So now it should be much better.
Да,
And
об этом
also as an
пишет.
additional feature in this update,
Пишет,
we made sure that
говорит.
essential auras are now always featured on the survivor side. So notably, before that, it blocked all auras indiscriminately. Now, if you don't have line of sight on a downed or hooked survivor, you'll see their auras. Though if you see a hook, but little nuance, if a hook survivor is directly within line of sight of you, but inside the fog cloud, you won't see their aura.
Exactly. Yeah.
You'll still know they're in there, but if you go look through a wall, then you'll see, survivor's on the hook. So we're really excited to see how people use the new and improved fog cloud. We've added more charges.
That's the big part.
Yeah,
That's
so
the
now
big part.
we're all rarities of fog vials are up from 2 to 4.
Блин,
The
сколько
cooldown
публиковать
has not
придется
changed. And we're
информации.
really happy to see what people are doing with it. We think that now it's definitely like a great strategic item to help prevent chases. Because you can use if you know that the killer has spotted you and is trying to get in range to start chasing you, it's very useful to just activate a fog vial and then try to be evasive while your aura reading is blocked, while you're doing less sound, while your scratch marks are being suppressed, because then you can then like surprise them or hide. But it is like also, because if you've seen on the video on screen, when you're in the fog, if the killer follows you into the fog cloud, they still just might find you.
Yeah.
So yes, if the killer just surprises you.
Do they lose chase in the fog vial?
No, should not.
That's an important one.
Yep. And here we're going to go rapid fire, but you can see on the Forsaken boneyard, it looks like the fog vial. On the Yamaoka Estate realm, also looks the same. And now on the Withered Isle as well, you can see it blocks the house. So
perfect.
I'm really looking forward to see how people feel about it and get to play with it. And now.
Целый дом туман закрывает, не видно.
I think it's the big one.
Do we have time?
I sure hope we do.
Go on, we'll do it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's something happening in the next PTB, and it's the Trikster update.
You're excited about this one?
A little bit. It's been on my mind for a couple of months now. So in this update, we really wanted to focus and see and take into account the feedback from Trikster from the previous update in 7.4. And we really wanted to focus on Trikster's range identity. For killers, we really wanted to make sure that we celebrated accuracy with blades, managing blades for more rewarding shots, and like really make sure that we reward skill expression with an updated, surfaced, visible style rank system. You'll see more in the next few slides, but we've worked really hard, everyone, to make sure that Trikster now has a visible style rank combo system. That's coming to Dead by Daylight. And for survivors, we also tried to make sure that while versing against Trikster now, they are better rewarded for learning how to dodge blades.
У Трикстера появилась какая-то система видимого стиля. Умение уклоняться от ударов клинков и заставлять Трикстера перезаряжать оружие уменьшилось.
And also importantly, because sometimes we get this identity a little bit.
То есть персонажи будут от Трикстера уворачиваться.
It's not a rework. He's still throwing blades. He still has main event.
Они считают это обновлением, это не переработка.
His gameplay, his add-ons. It's not any different. If you, for example, internally, we consider what we did last year to the
Ну,
Nightmare
по перкам
to be
ничего
a
не
rework,
изменилось,
because
не
it had
изменится.
an entirely different power set that combined 2 previous locked abilities, and he just played very differently because of he could swap like powers.
Yeah.
So yeah, we really wanted to this time around reach the K-pop fantasy that. Yeah, let's do it. So, coming in the PTB, you will have a
Наконец-таки они переходят
brand
к
new
Трикстеру.
style rank HUD element that tracks your style in the game.
Совершенно новый
It's always
стиль.
present on the top portion of your screen, and you will see your style ranks evolve in real time. This is
Какой-то
exclusive to
ранг,
killer
который будет
only.
присутствовать
Survivors
наверху
don't have
экрана.
access to that information. And
Это
as you can
доступно
see
только
in the
убийцам.
lower,
Просто
left corner,
у выживших нет доступа к
we
этой
have reduced
информации.
display count a little bit as part of the balancing. You can play with that on the PTB, but also there's now a dedicated button for main event when it becomes active. Yeah. So just a little bit of history of Trikster combo systems. Originally in 4.6,
It's a long time back.
is
Yeah.
2021. Hey, it was hidden, it was not visible, and it only helped basically reward you for playing smartly with more blood points. In 7.4, now you know, playing well and hitting your blades successfully would help you like sort of empower your main event.
Yeah.
Now in 9.5, it's finally visible. It feedbacks how you're playing in more or less real time. It accounts for a bunch of different gameplay events that is related to blade throwing, but also
Да,
what
обновление
actions you do in the
Трикстера.
game.
Но
And
перки,
also,
которые не
style ranks now
затрагивают.
improve Trickster's blade throw rate. So
Как они
the
говорят,
better,
что это не
higher style
переработка,
rank
это
you
именно
are,
обновление.
the faster you can throw
Okay,
blades.
cool.
And you can also reload faster. So that particular moment of downtime,
Чем быстрее вы
if you're
сможете метать
skillful
клинки,
enough,
тем лучше вы
it
сможете
becomes
это делать.
much less
То есть
painless and like allows you to even reload in chase.
So the speed part of Iron Maiden.
Yeah, so now it's built in.
перезаряжать оружие во время
And
преследования.
basically, it's like now style ranks. It's the core feature of his power. So we're excited
Погоня
to show it
встроенная.
to you. And as you can see on screen, you have 6 style
Ну,
ranks.
сейчас
from
перевод
E
появится
to
там нормально,
S.
я
You start at
прочитаю.
E, and then each time you go up in rank, you start a combo timer. And the goal is to
На
always
экране
be
будет
accumulating
6
style
уровней
points. So you're
стиля.
going up in rank,
От
or at
Е
the
до
very least,
С.
refreshing your timer.
Вы накапливаете очки
You
стиля
said
и так
something about
повышаете свой
in-game
рейтинг.
actions. What
Yeah.
in-game actions
По крайней
are
мере,
there?
обновляете таймер.
Well, we are going to have the full amount of details
Ну, так
on
у
the
него
PTB patch
кульминация
notes, but it's
быстро
about,
метает ножи. Вот, а здесь,
roughly
видимо,
less
можно
than a
будет
dozen
управлять.
actions.
Okay.
So, for
Ну,
example,
вернее, зарабатывать нужно
getting
будет.
a first hit and
Как я
application
понимаю.
of laceration on a survivor, injuring them, interrupting a survivor,
Нанесение
grabbing them
первого
out
удара,
of a
нанесение
locker.
глубокой
And then
раны.
the ultimate one, that's the power
Причинение ему
move for the
травмы.
Trickster Banes out there, is we've added trick shot detection to the power. So if you master all of our maps, and you master Trickster, and you know where to fire blades,
Что-то как-то они
Those little
замудрено
gaps in
прям.
Shaq.
yeah. If you go up against a Trickster that goes up in style ranks fast, you'll know it because they'll be at S rank very often and faster.
I know a few Trickster mains who's going to have fun with that.
I
В
sure hope so.
обновленной версии Трикстера в его арсенал добавлен ранг
here's our
стиля. Он
first
поощряет
demonstration of what a
точность и
style
позволяет
point is.
быстрее метать и
As you can
перезаряжать
see
ножи,
in the
если
demo
вы
video,
умело им владеете.
the Trickster is
Вот
picking a
пример.
target, and then he is going to throw a blade, and as you can see, that was a first hit, and the Trickster gained a style point. As you can see, he went up,
Вот у него
he got one
заполнилась
style point
немножко
at E rank,
буква Е.
and went up to half of E rank. Each
Он
style
получил
rank
балл
has a
за
different amount
это.
of points to increase, and basically it's by chaining actions that you go up in style ranks.
Do you have, do they
От
decay
уровня
at all?
стиля,
Yeah, so
короче,
basically, if you do not gain a style point periodically, you will decay from rank. So you'll go
от
for
уровня
example,
стиля, короче, он
from C
получает
rank to E
различные
rank
баллы
back to
какие-то.
E rank.
Okay.
So if you're
Тем
if you have a
самым,
hard
видимо,
time
повышая уровень.
engaging with finding survivors, stuff like that, unfortunately, your style rank will go down. So yeah, here's an example on screen of style ranks. As you can see, In the video, Trikster is damaging Yunjin, got a style points for injury, got a style point for
Ломая
breaking
палетку,
pallet,
тоже повышает
got a style
уровень,
point for injuring another survivor again,
раздая
but
хиты.
not for doing the same action twice in a row.
Тем самым
So
зарабатывая, я так
that's a
понимаю, вот
subtlety.
эту
We consider a combo doing different actions back to back. So that's another layer for
прикольно.
players who really want to main Trikster, learning how to weave your actions, blade throw, injury, breaking a pallet, breaking a wall. I think that's going to make interacting with maps an entirely new ball game in parlance.
Короче, его заставили теперь много действий
So now
делать,
you're
чтобы
interacting.
зарабатывать
Every sort
очки.
of a lot of interactions you do with the a map will count. Yeah.
Взаимодействовать, короче, ему надо будет с
And
картой, чтобы
also, you know, maybe some
активно,
people are
видимо,
asking, what
обилку
about main
использовать.
event? Well, we're getting to that, but then we need to talk about S rank. So when you reach S rank, Trikster gains
Что будет
maximum
на
throw
S-ранге?
rate, reveals
Когда вы
survivors with
достигнете
killer
ранга
instinct,
S,
and then gain access to main event. So,
Так.
and at S rank, you have 66 seconds to basically go
Трикстер получает
super
максимальную
intense
скорость.
on survivors and find them.
So you've kept the theming then, the double numbers.
Yeah, yeah. Well, also the killer instinct. You reveal survivors with killer
Yeah.
instinct for 4.4 seconds.
Okay. I was going to say, is that
We had to
66 seconds?
We had to keep
Yeah.
44 somewhere.
You have to have 44 in.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. So and yeah, well, you're in S rank. You're at your strongest sense, and you reload lockers faster. And also,
То есть при S ты начинаешь видеть сурва.
slower.
Okay, so,
So
there's the
if you
effect on
if
the
you
У него
if you
инстинкт
lacerate
убийцы
survivors at range,
появляется.
you can, for the duration of main event, kind of leave them be for a little while. You can stockpile lacerations and manage more survivors that way.
Yeah, it makes it a bit more tactical.
Yeah, and we also improved main event. Now main event, when you activate main event, you
Ну
cash
вот
in your
получается,
S
если
rank,
на уровне
but
S, то
then
инстинкт убийцы
when
появляется.
you
Ты
hit
можешь
survivors at
найти
main
сурва,
event, you basically
обменивать
refund
свой
style
ранг на
points at the
деньги.
end. So now, as you can see on the video, you
И я так
made
понимаю,
S
еще
rank,
можешь накладывать
Trikster
глубокие
activates main
раны,
event,
ну, от зависимости от
and
стиля,
then you're hitting blades with survivors, and
по своему
each
желанию.
blade triggers a bonus point, and when you're in fatigue, you get back your style ranks.
И постепенно
So-
теряете еще
You
очки
don't
стиля.
lose either by it, really.
No, so you get now at S rank, a lot
сейчас
of
там перевод
options
появится, еще
are open to
посмотрим.
you. Do I use S rank to stay
Подробнее.
consistently stronger for the entire duration, and then return to E rank?
Okay.
Because S rank is like a super mode. You
mode,
have to
yeah.
kind of, you know. But the question is, where and when do I get to use main event to hopefully refund my style ranks and keep the pressure going?
That makes sense. And
so
you can
there's a-
activate it manually.
Обновление для
choose
Трикстера.
when and
Количество
where.
клинков
Yeah,
Трикстера
exactly.
немного
So I think
уменьшено.
there's like a
Ранги
lot
стиля и
of,
таймер комбо вознаграждают
abilities
точность,
now,
Yeah.
choices
использование
in
клинков,
Trikster.
отслеживают различные действия в испытании,
But I love when you
улучшают скорость броска
Yeah, I mean,
клинка
we've also,
и
as you can
перезарядки
see on screen, we've
шкафчика
also
Трикстера,
like re-updated
связывают навык с
laceration
более
feedback
быстрым
on
достижением
survivors.
S-ранга и переходом в главное
I think
событие,
our team did a
что бы это
fantastic
ни
job.
значило.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing what the feedback on this is
Yes,
going to be.
I'm excited.
It's
We've
been
had a lot of fun.
Ну, из
style
видео,
was
думаю,
known
более-менее понятно.
because in a previous stream, I think it was Jeff that had the PowerPoint, and there was some letters that were highlighted, and so people figured out style was part of this. So I think they'd be pleased to see which way that developed.
Yeah, I'm very happy. It's the first time we've had a power like this in DBD.
We've got some questions.
Great.
Do you want to read them? Because you can read them, I can't.
I have my glasses.
You have your glasses on,
So
lend me them.
one of the questions we've had is, will the Trickster's add-on be reworked? Yes. I believe only 3 add-ons stayed the same. So
Oh, that's a lot.
yeah,
That's a lot
so
of
it's
changes.
basically
Yeah.
a full add-on rework as well. Yeah. Another question, will there be a sound cue for survivors once the Trickster reaches S rank? Yes, it will be
Так,
heard
но они аддоны будут
map-wide,
либо добавлять,
because when
либо
the
менять.
Trickster hits S rank, everybody needs to know, because he's at his most lethal. And also, we added a sound cue when you're in range of his main event.
All
more or
right, that's
less.
good.
So
Yeah.
if you
there's
hear main
that is
events,
feedback to
Скорость
that,
метания
to the
как при
survivor
кульминации.
of what is going on.
yeah. Another question that we have is Yunjin getting anything as part of this update.
Видимо, сейчас
So
еще
we've actually done a pass on
более
certain
расширенные
all-kill,
появятся
original
посты. Посмотрим.
all-kill perks. So they will be shown on PTB. But yes, Trickster and Yunjin's perks are getting a pass to
Да, в
just
принципе,
help
это мы и на
bring them
ПТБ
more
увидим.
to modern DBD.
I'm looking forward to seeing what people
Пощупаем.
think of Fast Track in
Yes,
this one. I think that one's going to
You're
be kind of
teasing.
interesting.
you're
Yeah.
teasing. That's not fair.
I like to tease. So
Well, I'm
can't
excited
help
for
it.
the update to crowd control. I think
know.
it'll be.
Well, you're teasing even more now, aren't you?
Well, we're here for a
Просто
reason.
чем больше стиля, тем
So,
быстрее он
again,
бросает
PTB
ножи.
Tuesday. Feedback all on the forums, Reddit, Discord. We're looking forward to it. This has been a lot of work involved in this, so I'm really excited to
Yeah,
get this
very proud of the
Почему здесь
team.
написано
It's
чит,
like,
не
I've been
пойму.
told internally the SkyRank UI is the most complex UI element we've ever done on Dead by Daylight.
Разработчики заявили, что изменения в чите — это всего лишь обновление, а не переработка. Почему в чите? У него меньше ножей. Теперь у него есть новая система стиля, которая отображается на экране и увеличивается по мере выполнения различных действий в игре. Чем больше стиля, тем быстрее он метает ножи, и тем быстрее перезаряжает их из шкафчиков. Если чит не получает очки стиля, он будет постепенно их терять. Трикстер может, а не чит. На ранге S чит получает доступ к главному событию — кульминации. Очень быстро метает ножи и получает инстинкт убийцы для ближайших выживших. Если главное событие, если кульминация активирована, чит теряет очки стиля после его завершения. Таким образом, игрок сам решает, оставаться ли на ранге S и сохранять бафы, или использовать кульминацию. Вот в чем прикол. По-моему, по умолчанию 44 ножа вроде было. Мадоннами плюс 8 и плюс 4 ножа вроде. Но я не знаю, почему здесь чит написано. Даже на английском я читаю, там написано чит. Странно. Может, они назвали вот это само событие читом? Сам стиль чит. Да, получается Трикстер читер по факту.
Welcome back. Thank you very much for staying. Hi.
Сейчас, наверное, насчет
we have
карты будет.
something now very new.
Наконец-то или нет?
So, I'd like to introduce Michael. Michael, would you like to say what?
Пусть они пока потрындят, я пойду еще попью. Давайте представим Майкла.
Oh, that's a
Чё?
perk thing.
Напоследок.
I know what I'm doing.
Can't TBD things with me.
Welcome.
Well, hello. My name's Michael. I'm a.
Это он, Майкл. Я думал про Майерса будет сейчас рассказывать.
Oh.
Так, я отойду пока. Он сейчас все равно про художников что-то будет рассказывать. Все, про карту пошло. Читайте. Я отойду пока на секунду.
Dead by Daylight's newest map.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we're excited for this.
To jump through these.
Yeah, we're gonna switch over to
There we go. The
PowerPoint.
Trickster's Delusion. Now, this map also comes with its own realm called the Sleepless District. Upon first glance, this map could be the Trickster's ultimate fantasy. There is blood and bodies littered throughout the streets. There are posters of the Trickster himself, scattered everywhere, plastered on all the walls. And there are even fireworks that can be triggered at some point during the trial.
Oh, that's cool.
A nice little surprise. But for players that inspect a little further, especially those that read Korean, I think they'll find that this construct serves more of a torturous reminder for the atrocities that Ji-woon has committed and how he can never escape them.
This is looking so cool.
So the gameplay area for this map is 23 tiles. The layout is static, similar to Raccoon City Police Station.
Okay.
We really wanted to use the structures and the landmarks to give a certain sense of directionality to this environment. This is something that I really tried to implement on the previous map that I did, which is the Ormond Lake Mine. And we wanted to help create like a layout that was fairly simple and easy to learn. Now, this is easier said than done for a city block, but the map can actually be divided into 4 sections, and there's a main road that cuts right through, and that both exit gates can be found on either end of this main road, and they do not change. So in one corner of the map, I can explain, there's the main building, which is the nightclub. And then opposite to the nightclub, we have the market and the park, which is a bit more of like a open area with a bit of greenery. In this market and park, players can find a very familiar building with a certain layout that has been themed to the to the environment. And finally, we have the high streets and the low streets. This kind of gives a preview.
Look at the colors.
That is
Yes,
amazing.
of the
That's a
map's
nice.
layout.
That's a top down, yeah.
Yeah. And this kind of explains how things are organized.
I love seeing something like that. That really helps when you're trying to learn a map, because like the hardest thing for a DVD player, when the first thing, new map, having to learn the layouts,
Я тут
that sort of thing, where there's a vault
читаю.
location, where there's pallets.
Официальное
So
имя
having it
Юн
split
Джин
like
Ли
that
будет
just
изменено
helps.
на Ли
So the
Юн
overall
Джин.
layout is
Именно
fairly
так оно
simple,
будет
but
произноситься и
especially in the
располагаться
high
на
and
ее
low
родном
streets,
корейском
can get
языке.
very maze-like. You know, it's not to say that there aren't some maze-like elements to this map or some variation in the gameplay elements. You can find plenty of that. So we can start by looking at the nightclub. There's a coat check, there's a VIP bar and lounge, there's even a backstage area, and at the center is a very ominous-looking mosh pit where thick fog enshrouds a dark and mysterious scene that we can find below. There's also a spectacular light show accompanied by some music done by the Trikster himself, but we'll let players discover that for themselves. In the market and park, it's a lot more open, as I've said previously. There are food trucks, market stalls, vendors' tables scattered all throughout. And we really wanted each section of this map to have its own sort of unique feel and aesthetic. So the border walls
Изображение
of this
новой
market
карты.
that surround the whole
Ворота
thing
на карте
are
будут
done with a more
расположены в
sort of
конце
traditional
улиц и
style,
представляют
you
собой
know,
стандартные точки
stone
появления.
wall.
Их
And we can see
местоположение
these
не
beautiful paper
изменится.
lanterns all hung up.
It's so pretty.
It's so good. I remember when the team was
Нет, это
starting this,
насчет
the goal
насчет
was like
сурва.
make the prettiest
Да,
map
это именно
possible, and
насчет
kind of did
Трикстера.
that.
Ну,
Yeah,
Трикстер
so
и
the market too, it serves as a
Ли
nice
Юнчин же
contrast
этот
between the
глава.
futuristic, you know, like super bright, colorful, modern aesthetic that we have elsewhere throughout the map. This one's a lot more sort of traditional, and
Просто
give players a bit of a
местоположение
break from the
поменяют,
ultra-stimulating lights and
видимо,
colors.
как правильней.
Speaking of lights and colors, we
Имя.
have the high streets. So here you can find stores, restaurants, even a karaoke bar.
Здесь чел,
When I
не
saw
чел
the
говорит,
it was like I'm
креатор
such a
пишет,
karaoke
короче.
fan. I was like, it's like
Забавно,
looking
что в
for
прямой
girls.
трансляции
Yes.
ДВД
We had a lot
показывают,
of
что
fun
Windows
little
не
details.
adding
активировано,
these cool little
а
areas.
потом это закрывает
So yeah,
камеру.
the high streets are even paved with like special tile, and it's all blocked
Я
from
не заметил.
vehicle access, so it's like a pedestrian-only area.
That's so cool.
These are some examples of the
Короче, новая карта называется
interior of the
«Заблуждение
stores.
Трикстера».
The overall ambience
Новое
is a lot
царство, бессонный
brighter
район.
and cleaner and livelier. Oh, this is Chuck, by the
We
way.
love
I
Chuck.
was gonna say, yeah, I can
We love
see
Chuck.
Chuck.
He's friendlier than he looks.
Практически все дополнения к игре Трикстер
Opposite
будут
to the high streets
переработаны.
are
Бонусы
low
и
streets.
дополнения,
So
ну,
here, you know, you
перки и
can find some
дополнения,
stores and
палки
restaurants as
будут
well, but
переработаны. Но
there are
все-таки будут
also a few
переработаны.
abandoned buildings, and the mood is a lot dingier and darker. So it was super important for us that these two districts have their own unique, distinct identity, because again, they can feel pretty maze-like.
Yeah, I think you can tell that as well from the images.
Ну,
There
скорее
is that
всего,
distinction there. So
кто им студию
that's been really
предоставляет,
good.
там,
And I
кто
gotta
этим
say, I love on
занимается,
the
оператор.
PowerPoint that you've got in the top corner
Забыли
there, the
активировать.
highlighted area of which part of the map. The
Yeah, that's a
image
really
of
great
Вы
way
the-
to
слетело
walk
этот.
through this.
Really, really good. I love it.
Не ключ,
Yeah,
как
well,
он называется.
those two zones,
Активатор.
especially like on either opposing corner, the high streets and low streets, they act as a nice foil to like the map's more sort of overall layout being a bit very simplistic and static, because you have all kinds of
Yeah.
stores and alleyways, you know,
Капец,
connecting
информация
and
летит
chaining
со
together,
стрима.
and the level designer did a really cool
Разработчики не
job
успевают говорить, а
all
уже
kinds of ways
этот
to make some cool loops
информация
and ensure some interesting gameplay.
I think you've all done amazing on this. I'm really excited to see this map coming onto the TV.
So much.
Yeah, because it's been a long time request.
Again, look at that in that shot right there. Look at that detail. There's so many little bits.
Yeah, we actually have some in-game footage here.
If you could click play, awesome.
So for this map, we really wanted to blend the aspects of indoor and outdoor maps.
Вот здесь объяснение. Новое имя участника House Survivor, клон Тэйон, но это новый сурв. Должно было быть Тэйон клон, если бы оно соответствовало первоначальному формату. Например, Юн Джин Ли. Тэйон — это его имя при рождении, а клон — фамилия. Для них ключ будет копейки с такими донатами от игроков. Я не представляю, какая у них прибыль вообще идет.
Basing it on the city of Seoul, its unique identity is so tied with visual clutter and constant, visual noise. And we knew that we had to make sure that the density of lights and colors still had to be pretty high to best represent the environment that we were depicting. But at the same time, this came with a bit of a cost. We recognized that it would hinder some of the players' capabilities for finding some gameplay objectives.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm happy to announce that we also created that's the same video. A new asset that will be paired with generators. It's a unique sign that will flicker and until the generators complete. So hopefully this will allow players to kind of view it from a distance and be able to spot these all throughout the map.
Oh, so it's not just in buildings, it's going to be generators that are on the outside as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So we'll have them on in the front of certain buildings to indicate when generators are inside.
Okay.
But for the
В
ones that are
основном они
outside, we
рассказывают
figured we
просто,
might as well make this
где
language
что стоять
consistent
будет
and just have
примерно,
them everywhere.
какие места, вот эти локации.
This is a look at the exit.
Блин, ну выглядит прикольно.
It was very fun to...
I was talking to Dork earlier about this because she captured a bunch of these shots earlier, and even this is apparently quite a creepy experience.
Карта будет разделена на главные улицы и низкие улицы, ну или нижние улицы.
You never quite know where you're going when you run through those exit gates.
With a killer chasing you.
Here's some more footage.
Yeah, it's completely different, isn't it? Because that is so much more toned down with the lights and the lighting and the colors.
Yeah, so overall, it was pretty challenging working on this environment. It was super, super fun, though. It was a very fun challenge. Our environment team, we're not the biggest, and we had to be very clever with how we modularized everything to fill the most space in the smallest amount of time. But we also used, areas unique enough to stand out as landmarks, because we didn't want it to be just one gigantic
Я пока ничего не могу это. Закрою окно, сейчас у меня трансляция, вот это, ихняя трансляция упадет. О, подвал.
That's right.
I'm just enraptured. I'm sorry. I should be filling the air here. There's Chuck again.
We just want Chuck.
There is a second character similar to Chuck who actually is my favorite that I will not spoil.
I think
It's
I prefer
your
that
favorite?
one.
Yeah. You've picked favorites?
We're going to have a civil war between those two mascots.
I'm sorry, but you can't pick
Hello.
favorites.
Well, now we just showed it.
Secret spoiled.
Там что, дома стоит, что ли?
Cool Easter eggs and secrets kind of littered throughout this map. Some jump scares, maybe. I won't spoil too much. I think the players are going to have a really fun time exploring these and discovering these for themselves.
Oh, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing them finding the Easter eggs. Seeing the posts on it and see who finds things first.
Exactly, yeah. I'm super proud of all the people that contributed to this map. I think it turned out great. The audio, the VFX, the animations, the level design, of course, the lighting. All of it helped to come together and breathe so much life into this environment.
Yep.
And I think, players are going to have fun exploring and ducking and hiding and also stalking and chasing in this new map, the Trickster's Delusion.
It looks fun and it suits him.
I like that name because it's basically like a hell of his own making.
В локации заблуждения Трикстера генераторы будут снабжены неоновыми вывесками для удобства поиска, поскольку карта может быть похожа на лабиринт.
First one, Richard Carter 2021. How large is this map?
So, as I mentioned, it's 23 tiles, But this doesn't include the border fence. Usually, I think when we calculate the number of tiles and we give that as a surface area, it's not including the border fence.
Which one? What map does that compare with? Do you know offhand? I'm trying to think.
I've been told it's on the smaller side.
Yeah.
But you know, there's no change in like elevation, like no secondary floors in this map.
Okay, that helps. Yeah.
But there are, like, I know that the nightclub, because that mosh pit in the center is quite large, but you cannot access it. It's more of a, you know, a pit where you can go around the middle. That's a lot of unused gameplay space, and there is, you know, it's a pretty big building to kind of navigate, like go around. But there's a lot of gameplay elements and some cool loops dotted here and there.
It's gonna be fun.
Okay, another one. I don't know if this is your realm so much, but from DJ Leader, will there be music?
There will be music in the club, but not at first.
Oh.
That's a good way of putting it.
В клубе будет музыка, кстати,
From
играть.
Ravens AZ, what realm will this be part of?
So as I said, this is going to be a new realm.
Какая-то группа Ravens Z.
Heck yeah.
It's so cool.
And also, we did want to mention, this will be in PTB on Tuesday, so just a few days away. It's PTB, so we're still actually not shipped yet. So we're still doing optimization on the performance of it.
Во вторник ПТБ
There's a lot going on in this map, so what you experience on the PTB won't be what you experience once it launches. There might be a little bit of
И все это мы испытаем, короче, всю эту карту именно на ПТБ.
file that goes live on shipping day. So
you can have a little FPS drops here and there and things like that, especially in the areas where there's highlighting, that sort of thing.
Exactly. But this looks so good. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being on the
Говорит,
stream.
что наблюдаются небольшие просадки
I'm very
FPS.
excited and get to showcase this cool new environment that we did.
That's so cool. I'm
We're
really
super
excited to see
excited to have
people
you.
dive into it. Yeah. And this is, we're going to wrap it up. It's been a rather long
Ну всё,
show.
на
Thank you
этом
for
всё, они
sticking with us today,
заканчивают.
folks, if you have. I know a lot of you have. Really appreciate it.
2 часа.
And again, thank you.
Практически 2
Happy to
часа.
have you back next time you get another map to show.
Oh, definitely.
Почему-то
and
они
we're
в
gonna
этот
wrap
раз
up. So,
поздно так
PTB
запустились.
is on Tuesday.
Я-то думал, пораньше будет.
And you get to test out pretty much everything that was in
Поэтому я
the
не
show.
хотел
Not
уже
the
стрим
Grimуар
запускать
stuff,
вообще,
but,
поэтому.
that vote is coming next week too.
That's next week's vote.
Меня
And the Grimуар
пилочка
will be
уговорила.
there later this year. I keep seeing that, and I saw that in chat. That
А сама
everyone's thinking it was
сидит
coming
на фоне,
this
где-то
summer.
там
It is
пушит
going to be later in the year.
Yeah, stay tuned.
арахисовую пасту соленую.
But again, thanks everybody. It's been a
Thank you
pleasure
so
being with
much.
you, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Бай-бай. Наконец-таки можно идти отдыхать. Ну какой, блин, отдыхать? Надо будет сейчас в Телеграм запостить много информации. А утром, наверное, буду потом с Телеграма перемещать в Тёме в Дис новости все эти. Еще пробовать правильно как-то корректировать перевод. Более-менее. Да, пилочку говорила стрим постримить. Я писал, говорю, стрим будет поздно у разрабов. Я думал, я его просто бы на запись поставил. Потом выложил на YouTube с переводом от искусственного интеллекта. Вот. Пилочка говорит, нет, давай запускайся. Я говорю, никто не будет смотреть так поздно, никто не придет. Ну, как никто, много людей не будет точно. Вот. Ну ладно, думаю, запущусь. Думал, часик будет стрим. Нет, 2 часа стрим. Так, ну-ка еще посмотрю какую-нибудь последнюю информацию. Так, это можно отключить, захват субтитров. Вот. Ну, здесь все, в принципе, насчет того, что где что находится на карте, показывают карту. Какие-то моменты будут еще интересные. Ну посмотрите на хижину, говорит, типа лача с подвалом, который мы видели. демонстрация в основном улицы. Ну, о, что там про метро? Система метро. Короче, там даже метро будет на карте. Нифига себе. Ну, туннель. Прикольно, прикольно. Но, я легенда, говорит. Сегодня нагулялась где-то там. И спать не идет совсем. Так, ну, вот этот вы посмотрели вообще? Ролик-то. Хотя, ладно, чего запускать-то, да? Или ладно, запущу вот так вот на начальный экран. Я так понял, выход как вход в метро. Там, видимо, не полный, да, туннель будет, а скорее всего просто как бы вход. Только что там будет располагаться. Может, генератор. Главное, чтобы не тупиковая зона была какая-нибудь. На работе она была. Сначала пилочка, а потом уже эти ваши брюсы. Так, ну что, давайте будем закругляться. Завтра последний день, значит, отработать надо будет. Я вечером, скорее всего, завтра запущу стрим уже, ну, чтобы поиграть. Так, и завтра, значит, обещают, вернее, уже сегодня, получается, промокод на голову неведомого, я так понимаю. Какую-то прикольную. Будем ждать. Не знаю, как, может быть, они в письма разошлют, или они выпустят именно промокод общий. Не знаю. Короче, ждем подарка, хотя не особо он нужен. У меня неведомого нету. Вот, а так, если хотите читать более подробно, там я в новостей, наверное, сейчас поскидываю. Может быть, не все скину, часть утром скину. Может быть, все скину. Время пока еще есть чуть, часик. Надо этим позаниматься. Вот, так что, если хотите сейчас посмотреть новости, то ТГшка в закрепе. Вот, а если что, завтра утром там, ну, утром, в течение дня у Тёмы в Дисе в инфо ДБД скину. У меня все маны есть, а я постепенно буду набирать манов. Постепенно буду на них играть. Все, пока, короче, планы такие. Других планов пока нет. Завтра я запущу стрим, поиграю. Там надо, наверное, задания какие-нибудь закрывать. Все, давайте всем ВБшечки. Спасибо, что заглянули на стрим. Пока-пока.